We really do. It's pretty much all just snippets, isn't it? Bits and pieces of everyday English conversations.
Exactly. Yeah, everyday conversations covering, well, pretty much everything people talk about, it seems.
From the absolute basics, like, just saying hello.
Right. Or good morning, all the way through to, well, some quite tricky situations like losing your keys or figuring out plans.
Planning parties, dealing with roommate issues, which can get complicated.
Oh, definitely. And even like planning trips abroad, thinking about holidays. It's a huge range.
It really is. And what makes it so valuable, I think, is that it captures language in use.
Yes, not theoretical language, but how people actually talk.
Exactly. Not, perfect sentences from a grammar book. These are like real moments from real people dealing with, well, normal stuff, sometimes boring stuff, sometimes quite dramatic things.
Yeah, totally relatable things. And that's the idea behind this deep dive, isn't it? To take these conversations, which, on the surface might seem pretty simple, and really unpack them, pull out the insights, the surprising bits maybe.
Yeah.
Or just the patterns that people fall into.
Yeah, the hidden structures almost. So the goal really is to help you listening get a much clearer picture of how everyday English actually works, across all these different scenarios.
We're trying to go beyond just like reading the transcript. We want to look at why people say certain things.
The choices they make. What are the social cues? What are they really trying to do with their words?
Right. What information are they trying to get across?
Yeah.
Or maybe sometimes, what are they not saying?
It's kind of like getting an x-ray of a casual chat, isn't it? To see the bones underneath all the everyday words.
I like that analogy. And for me, that's where it gets really fascinating. How do people actually communicate when they're just, being themselves?
Yeah.
What are the go-to phrases in certain situations? Does the language change much if they're asking for help versus, say, sharing some good news?
It definitely does, and that's what makes looking at these examples so useful. So what's in it for you, the listener? Well, we think this deep dive is a bit of a shortcut.
How so?
Well, by looking closely at these specific real-world examples from the sources, you can start to recognize these patterns yourself. You see them in action.
Ah, okay. So you start to understand the flow, like how someone typically asks, how are you? Or what people say when they've lost something.
Precisely. You start to understand the language of troubleshooting or making plans or even just making small talk. These snippets kind of offer a practical map for navigating those common interactions.
And we've got a real breadth of topics here, based only on what's in these sources. We're not adding anything extra.
Nope. Sticking strictly to the material.
So from the absolute basics, greetings, checking in right through to handling health stuff, personal feelings.
Roommate drama, school life, university stuff.
And then all the way to planning and talking about holidays overseas.
Yeah.
It's like a slice of life, really, just seen through conversation.
It really does show how much work everyday conversation actually does. It's not just noise.
Okay, well, let's jump in then. Where should we start? Maybe with the absolute basics, the kind of, the foundation.
Sounds good. Section 1, the building blocks. Things like greetings, small talk, just basic check-ins. These are like the social lubricants, They get things started.
Right. The core here seems super simple. People saying hello, good morning, and asking those standard questions like, how are you doing? Or just, how are you? We've got examples like, good morning, Lucy. Good morning, Sarah. Super basic.
It's acknowledging each other.
Yeah. And then slightly more involved ones like, how are you doing? I'm doing great, thank you. I'm good too, thanks. Little back and forth.
And what strikes you immediately when you look across these examples is how consistent the responses tend to be.
How do you mean?
Well, you hear things like, I'm doing great, I'm good too, thanks, very well, thanks. They're almost always positive, or at least, neutral.
Right. You don't usually get someone launching into a huge list of problems right at the start.
Exactly. Even if, as we see in other snippets later on, that person might actually be having a rough day.
Ah, okay. Like maybe they have a stomachache or something.
Yeah.
They had a fight with someone.
Yeah. Or even something bigger, like a breakup mentioned in one source. But still, that first response to, how are you, is usually going to be something like, fine or good.
So what does that tell us? What's the function of that?
Well, this is where we get insight into the social job these greetings do. They aren't always about giving a totally accurate, detailed report of your inner state.
Okay.
Their main function, it seems, is often just to acknowledge the other person, be polite, and basically signal that you're open to talking.
It's like a ritual.
Yeah, kind of a ritualized exchange. It's a social expectation, really. It smooths the way for whatever might come next. Think of it like a quick verbal handshake.
Okay, a verbal handshake. I like that.
Yeah.
Before you decide if you're going to have a proper chat.
Precisely. So when you say, I'm good, you're not necessarily lying about your whole life situation.
Right.
You're just fulfilling that initial social contract for that opening moment. It sets a positive or at least neutral tone.
Allows the conversation to move forward if there's a reason to.
And you see that in the example. Long time no see. Nice to see you again, Kathy. How are you? I'm good. And you, oh, very well. Thanks.
Right. The long time no see already does the work of acknowledging the gap.
Exactly. That handles the reconnection bit. Then the how are you very well, thanks is just that quick expected exchange. It lets them move on smoothly, maybe to talk about what they've actually been up to.
So these simple openings, they really do set the stage pretty effectively. They make that first connection before you get into anything more, well, substantial.
Which often leads quite naturally in the flow of conversation to the next common thing we see in the sources. Discussing what people are doing right now or where they're going, their current activities and plans.
Yeah. The where are you going type questions. Or what are you doing?
It's a very common follow-up after the initial greeting, isn't it? It shifts the focus a bit.
Us.
Well, it moves from asking about someone's general state, their being, how are you, to asking about their immediate actions or intentions, their doing.
Okay. So what are you doing or where are you going?
Exactly. And the answer can reveal something really immediate, maybe temporary, like in that example, where are you going? I'm just walking around and enjoying the sun.
Right. Tells you their current simple plan or non-plan, maybe.
Or it might hint at something a bit more structured or significant, like, how about you? Where are you going? I'm going to visit my grandma.
Ah, okay. That suggests family, maybe a planned visit.
Or where are you going, Layla? I'm going to the supermarket. That points to a specific task, an errand.
And asking this kind of question, where are you going? It can quickly show if you have something in common right then, can't it?
Yeah, definitely. If you're both heading to the supermarket, maybe you'll walk together.
Or if you're both just walking around, well, the conversation just continues as you walk.
It's a simple but really effective way to find that immediate common ground, or just to understand what the other person's up to in that moment, their context.
And speaking of common ground, or maybe reconnecting, the sources also show how people start talking when they haven't seen each other for a bit.
Ah, yes, catching up after some time apart.
This is where we see those classic phrases, isn't it? Like, long time no see.
And nice to see you again. Like in that dialogue. Ah, David, long time no see. Nice to see you. How have you been? I'm good. Nice to meet you again too, David. It's very neat, very concise.
It feels like those phrases, long time no see, they're like instant signals, aren't they?
They really are. Long time no see immediately says, hey, I recognize it's been a while. And it usually implies, pleasure that you've bumped into each other.
Yeah, it feels warmer somehow than just a plain hello, if you know it's been ages. It acknowledges your shared history, maybe.
Absolutely. It flags that relationship context. And then after that acknowledgement, the conversation just naturally flows into catching up.
Right. Which, as we see in that other example, long time. Oh, let's see, what are you doing here? Oh, hi. Yeah, same as you. I expect just shopping can lead straight back into talking about what you're doing right now.
Exactly. Same kind of question as where are you going? But now it's framed within that context of reconnecting after a break.
So these building blocks, the greetings, asking about what people are doing, the phrases for reconnecting, they form this kind of essential social toolkit.
Yeah, the infrastructure for conversation. They establish the connection, show you're ready to talk, and give you immediate ways for the conversation to actually develop.
Okay, so that covers the initial pleasantries. Now moving on. Section 2 seems to shift gears quite a bit, doesn't it? It gets much more practical.
It really does. This section is all about, navigating practical problems and making requests. It's the getting stuff done part of everyday talk.
Right, so dealing with things breaking, losing stuff, needing help with something.
Making plans, arranging appointments, buying things, all that practical real-world activity.
And the sources show people directly asking for help, stating the problem clearly.
Yeah, like, my laptop suddenly stopped working. Can you help me fix it? It's very clear. Here's the problem. Here's the request.
Or did you see my mobile phone?
Yeah.
Problem, lost phone, implied request, help me find it.
Or the more formal one, asking for directions in a store. Could you please tell me where the section for laundry stuff is? Specific information needed to do something.
And these examples, they don't just show how people ask for help, but also how others respond.
That's key. People offer help. Like, let me see. Or they ask questions to understand better.
Like, what happened?
Yeah.
Or, have you tried to restart it? Clarifying questions.
Or they suggest solutions. Try your coat pockets. Maybe you put it in your pocket, offering potential answers.
And one thing that really stands out here is the use of politeness markers.
Oh, definitely. Words like please, thank you, sorry, they pop up quite a lot.
Why is that so important here, do you think?
Well, when you're asking someone for help, you're essentially asking for their time or effort, right? You're kind of imposing on them, even in a small way.
Okay.
So using please or thank you, it's not just being nice for the sake of it. It signals respect for their willingness to help. It makes the request sound less like a demand.
Right, makes it more cooperative.
Yeah,
Less friction.
exactly.
Yeah.
It really smooths that social interaction when you're asking for something. And the sources give us some really detailed examples of this problem-solving language.
Like the laptop one.
Yeah.
The first response is that classic troubleshooting step. Have you tried to restart it?
Almost everyone asks that first for tech problems, don't they? It shows a common, almost scripted way of approaching those issues, even just casually.
And the lost phone one is great too. It shows how conversation is used to systematically retrace your steps.
Yeah, the questions, did you forget it at work? And what did you do after that? Really prompt the person to think back through their actions.
And the suggestion, how about in your clothes? Maybe you put it in your pocket, offers a really specific common place to check.
And then you see the dialogue directly leading to the solution. Ah, yes, it must be in my trousers pocket. Brilliant, go and check. Problem solved through talking it through.
But the lost car keys example,
Mm-hmm.
that one really captures the emotion, doesn't it? The stress of these everyday problems.
Oh, yeah. You hear the panic and frustration. I can't find my car keys. Someone's getting cross, being told to stop panicking, saying this is terrible. It really shows the human side.
But it also shows people working together through conversation. Asking, do you have a spare set? That's looking for alternatives.
Right. And suggesting you look in the bedroom and I'll check the kitchen. That's clear coordination, dividing up the task using words.
And then the relief at the end. I found them. Oh, what a relief. Especially when the answer was simple all along. You'd left them in the car.
That whole sequence shows the emotional roller coaster, but also the collaborative effort, all managed through dialogue.
So these examples really highlight conversation as a practical tool. Not just for saying there's a problem, but for actually working through it together, finding solutions, offering support, often a mix of practical steps and, well, emotional responses.
And another big area where conversation is a practical tool is in making plans and appointments. This is less about reacting to problems and more about proactively organizing things.
Yeah, arranging to meet up, inviting people to things, scheduling more formal stuff like doctor's visits or restaurant bookings.
The language for invitations seems pretty direct in the examples,
Yeah.
like the party one. Are you free this Saturday night? Would you like to come to my party this weekend?
And then all the follow-up questions are about getting the details straight, aren't they?
Exactly. Where will you hold the party? What time should I come? Is there a dress code? These specific questions make sure everyone's on the same page about the logistics.
And there seems to be a bit of negotiation around time sometimes. It's not always super strict.
Right. You see phrases like around 7 p.m. or around 8 p.m. suggests a bit of flexibility.
Or sometimes a specific time is proposed, but maybe tentatively. Like, are you guys free Sunday morning, say, at 9 a.m.? Using say makes it feel like a suggestion you could potentially adjust.
Mm-hmm. And that shopping date planning dialogue is a perfect example of a multi-step planning process happening entirely through conversation.
Yeah, it goes from the initial idea, do you want to go shopping?
Yeah.
And the enthusiasm.
Yeah, totally. To figuring out where to go, the mall, maybe King of Prussia specifically for prom dresses.
Then proposing and agreeing on when, say at 9 a.m. on Sunday.
And finally, nailing down the exact meeting spot. Shall we meet at the bus stop near Trader Joe's? Each step needs clear communication and agreement.
The more formal appointments, though, like the restaurant booking or the doctor's visit, they use slightly different language, don't they?
They do. It's a bit more procedural. The focus shifts to things like confirming your identity. Could I have your name, please? I'm Michael Boston.
Checking availability within a system, like the doctor's schedule. Is Dicker Mike available today? His schedule is full today. How about tomorrow?
Stating the exact reason for the appointment. What is your problem? I need to note it down. I have sleep difficulty and I want to have a blood test.
And following specific instructions. Please wait a minute. I need to note it down.
So that contrast shows how the same basic goal, getting something scheduled, uses different language depending on how formal the situation is.
These dialogues really demonstrate very clearly how specific questions and statements are the tools we use to coordinate activities, manage schedules, handle logistics, both in our social lives and in more formal settings.
Which leads us neatly into another very practical area, shopping and transactions. Core everyday stuff.
Yeah, the sources have some clear, functional examples of buying and selling things in shops.
The basic actions are captured very directly, aren't they? Asking for what you want. What do you need? I need a dozen eggs and a loaf of bread.
Asking the price. How much is it? It's $6.35, please.
And completing the transaction. Here you are, you can keep the change. It's very purpose-driven communication. Very direct.
It seems focused on clearly stating your needs and getting the info you require. The price question, how much is it, is super simple, universally understood.
And checking if everything's covered often uses simple phrases too, like anything else, or is that all?
The shirt purchase example adds a bit more detail, though. The customer explains what they're looking for. A white shirt for my husband.
And the shop assistant asks questions to help narrow it down. Do you prefer a plain shirt or one with a pattern?
Then, to get the right size, they ask for specific info. May I have his height and weight? He is 5.77 feet tall and 165 pounds heavy.
Right. And based on that, the assistant makes a recommendation using descriptive language. Okay, then this one best material among all size will fit him great.
And the customer's decision is just simple and direct. Great, I will take this one.
And there's also that little example of someone asking a friend to buy things for them. Can you help me buy something? Sure, what do you need to buy? I need a pack of sugars, some chilies, and ginger. Again, very straightforward listing of items needed.
So yeah, these examples really show that functional, direct, often quite transactional language that we use when we're buying things. It's all about identifying the item, maybe specifying details, finding the price, and making the exchange.
Okay, let's shift gears again. Section 3 takes us into more personal territory, discussing feelings, health, personal situations.
Right, this is where conversation moves beyond just the functional or the social rituals, isn't it? It starts touching on how someone is actually doing, their well-being, their emotions.
And talking about health issues is a big part of this section in the sources. We see examples of people describing symptoms, others showing concern and suggesting what to do.
The symptom descriptions are quite direct. I have a stomach ache. And the follow-up questions try to gauge severity. Does it hurt a lot? Yes, it does.
Or probe for more details. Did you throw up?
Yeah.
And that the vocabulary is specific to common problems. Stomach ache, throw up, food poison, fever, vomit, pain, burning. People use the right words for what they're feeling.
And showing concern is key here, too. Phrases like, are you feeling okay? Or just noticing something like, you look so pale, can open up that conversation about health. Shows empathy.
And the advice given varies. A friend might offer gentle support, like maybe suggesting light food or just being there.
But if it seems more serious, the suggestion becomes stronger. If it hurts too bad, tell me, I'll take you to the hospital.
Then there's the example of the post-illness checkup with a doctor. The language is a bit more formal, as you'd expect in a clinic. But the pattern is similar. The doctor asks specific questions about symptoms. No fever, good. Do you still vomit?
And the patient describes how they're feeling now. Not really, only sometimes, but it feels like it is still burning.
The doctor gives some reassurance. It's okay, we'll take some days. And discusses the next steps, like when the patient might go home. When can I go home, doctor? I'm afraid you still have to be here in a few days.
So these examples show the practical language we use when health is the main topic, both in casual support between friends and in more structured chats with a doctor.
And sometimes the conversations go even deeper emotionally, like that snippet about dealing with a breakup.
Ah, yeah, that was quite raw. It shows language used to express real sadness.
It starts with noticing the physical signs. What happened, Laura? Your whole face is swollen. And the direct answer, I cried all night.
That immediately prompts the what's wrong question.
And the reason is stated plainly. I broke up with my boyfriend yesterday. The response is immediate sympathy. Oh, I'm so sorry for you, Laura.
Then finding out the cause involves asking, but why? And the answer is painful. He cheated on me.
And the friend's reaction is strong validation and support. Oh, girl, he doesn't deserve you. It's very clear language of solidarity.
And the suggestion for coping is a common one, isn't it? Let's go out and enjoy some fresh air. You will feel better. Trying to shift the focus. Offer a distraction.
That dialogue really shows how conversation is used to process difficult emotions, to seek and receive support, and to express empathy during a tough time.
There's also the discussion about sleep difficulties, which happens in a doctor's appointment setting again.
Yes, another example of using specific language to describe a personal, ongoing health issue to a professional.
The patient explains the problem clearly. It's so difficult for me to fall asleep, and indicates it's chronic. It has been a few years.
Then the doctor starts asking targeted questions to understand possible causes, focusing on lifestyle factors.
Right, like asking about children. Do you have children? Yes, I have 2 kids. How old are they? And sleeping arrangements. Do you sleep with them? Yes, I sleep with one, and the smaller sleep in the crib.
These questions are designed to uncover habits or circumstances that might be affecting sleep. It shows how specific questions gather information for diagnosis or advice.
And the doctor's advice is a direct behavioral suggestion based on that info. I suggest you should try to sleep in a separate room alone for at least 1 week.
And the patient mentions having tried something similar before. Yes, I did try one day and still couldn't sleep, which is also part of the information gathering. It shows it's an ongoing process of trying things.
So all these conversations in Section 3, they really show how we use language to talk about our internal states, physical health, emotional feelings, especially when we need understanding, support, or professional help.
Okay, let's move into Section 4. This one focuses on social dynamics and relationships. So how people navigate friendships, conflicts, romance, all through conversation.
Right. And there's a really detailed example here about a conflict between friends. Seems to be about a crush.
Yeah, that's right. And it starts with a third person noticing something's off and bringing it up.
How does that happen?
The person asks, "What's wrong with Selena and you? Why didn't you guys sit next to each other at lunch today?" So an observation leads to asking about the conflict.
And the response is pretty strong, isn't it? Shows they're really upset.
Oh, yeah. Very direct, emphatic language. I'm done with her. We have nothing to talk to each other about. Sets a clear stance.
And they explain their side of the story.
Recounting their version of what happened and their interpretation. I had a crush on a boy. I told Selena about it. She was suddenly angry and told me to stay away from him.
And the language shows suspicion about the friend's motives. I think she wants to steal him from me.
Which led to an angry reaction. So I yelled at her and I told her that she knew nothing about me. It really lays out the hurt, anger, suspicion involved.
And the friend listening then probes a bit, points out the communication breakdown.
Yeah, asks, "Why didn't you listen to her reasons?" And the answer is telling, "Well, I was angry." Shows how emotion got in the way of talking it through.
So the advice given is all about communication.
Pretty much. Focused on talking it out and considering other possibilities. I think you guys should explain everything to each other. Perhaps she just wanted to prevent something bad from happening, suggesting maybe there was a misunderstanding.
Yeah, the person seems to consider it. Yeah, you're right.
So that whole snippet is a great example of how complex friendship issues involving things like jealousy and anger get discussed, and how advice often centers on improving communication and seeing the other person's perspective.
And staying on the theme of relationships, the sources also touch on dating and romance scenarios.
Yeah, so several bits and pieces about how attraction and potential relationships are discussed.
It shows how people describe potential partners, right? Like for the blind date.
The description focuses on positive traits, both looks and personality. He is very handsome, very friendly face, bright smile, beautiful blue eyes, and smooth skin.
And specific physical details are mentioned as a plus, linked to preference. He is 6'3". I know you like tall guys as well. So it's kind of selling the potential date.
Then there's the discussion about how to approach a crush. Friends giving advice.
Which ranges from general pep talks like, you have to step out of your comfort zone, bro.
To suggesting a really specific, maybe slightly crazy plan.
Right.
Create a situation like dropping something on her shirt, apologizing, and asking for her contact info to make it up to her.
That's quite a strategy. Does it work?
Well, the follow-up conversation, the coffee incident, reveals it didn't, which is actually quite insightful.
How so?
Because the friend who suggested it is initially shocked. "How was it, man? Did you succeed?" "No, oh my God, why? Your plan was perfect. You couldn't have failed."
And then they analyze why it failed.
Exactly. The analysis is pretty blunt. Dropping coffee and someone wearing a white t-shirt is not a good idea. She will think you had the intention to harm her. It gives direct feedback on why the tactic backfired, highlighting how it could be misinterpreted.
It also captures the disappointment, doesn't it? I thought she and I were meant to be. In facing the rejection, it seems like she rejected me immediately.
But then, in sharp contrast, there's that other scenario, the unexpected connection.
Ah, yeah, where someone approaches Andy directly.
Right. Excuse me, are you an Andy from the business department? Yes, I am. I really want to exchange trans accounts with you. Very direct, totally unprompted, and it works.
And the reaction is pure joy,
Yeah.
isn't it? Using that idiom, I'm on cloud nine.
Exactly. And the friend's response flips instantly from analyzing failure to celebrating success. I think you've just found your fate, and Connie, congrats, man.
And offering encouragement for the next step. Do you think I should text her? Definitely, bro. Girls love that type of boyfriend.
So taken together, these snippets give a really interesting window into how attraction, shyness, making a move successfully or not, and all the feelings around it get talked about among friends. It's a mix of playful advice, analysis, sympathy, and excitement.
Okay, let's shift to section 5. This covers some really core parts of daily life. Work, study, and living situations. Lots of everyday chat happens here.
Absolutely. Starting with jobs and promotions, the sources show some simple ways people check in about work and share good news.
Like asking, how is your new job going? And getting positive responses like, it's great, I'm just a bit busy. Or describing colleagues as very friendly and nice to me.
And the supportive reactions are pretty standard too, aren't they? It sounds like a great working environment, or I'm very happy that you love your new job, just positive reinforcement.
And sharing news about a promotion is straightforward. How about yours? I'm doing well, I just got a promotion.
Followed by equally clear, congratulations. Oh, congratulations, you always work so hard. Shows those common patterns for professional updates and mutual support.
Now, a much more detailed set of examples comes from university life and roommates. This covers a lot, from moving in to dealing with major problems.
It starts with the basic introduction. Hi, I'm Marshall. I guess I'm your new roommate. Hi, I'm sort of nice to meet you. Simple enough.
But then they quickly get down to practicalities, don't they? Establishing whose side is whose. This is my side, and that will be yours. Asking about majors. What is your major? Shows the practical needs driving that first chat.
But what's really insightful, I think, is that later conversation where Marshall and Ted proactively discuss expectations. That's crucial for living together.
Yeah, they cover a lot there, dividing the space, agreeing on decoration style. What is your style? I'm in the funky retro style.
How to handle chores. We will split the chores equally.
Rules about guests. How do you feel about guests? I have a girlfriend, if you're okay with it.
And study habits. How do you like to study? I like listening to music. I like studying in silence. Okay, we can schedule our study time differently. Even future plans, like holidays.
That detailed chat really shows how important proactive communication is when you share a space. They're using language to set boundaries, agree on rules, manage differences before they cause problems.
Yeah, like figuring out the study time thing. And the tone seems optimistic initially, doesn't it? Decorate the room together will be so much fun. Sure, I'm cool with that. They're starting off on a positive note.
Which makes the contrast with the other roommate's story even starker. The one Mike tells Lucas about his difficult roommate.
Oh, yeah. That part of the source is like a catalog of complaints. It's rich with language used to describe conflict and frustration in shared living.
Mike sums up right away. I have a roommate, but I don't like him, have so much trouble living together. And states the core problem. We just can't get along. We have nothing in common, and his annoying behaviors are driving me crazy.
And the specific complaints are really detailed, using quite vivid language. He's described as slobby and unorganized.
With concrete examples. Leaves his shoes and socks on his bedroom floor.
And detailed complaints about shared areas like the kitchen. Leaves dishes in the sink. Leaves dirty pots and pans on the stove. Doesn't put away leftovers.
Bathroom problems, too. Leaves his dirty clothes or towels in the bathroom and toothpaste splatter. It paints a picture.
And it's not just about messiness. It's also about disrespecting schedules. Comes home at 2 a.m., banging the door, sets up the alarm at 7 a.m., but never gets up.
And personality issues. Being needy, depending on Mike, for social life and emotional support. Being an attention seeker, even talking about me behind my back, sharing my personal information.
That whole section provides a real inventory of phrases people use when complaining about a bad roommate. It shows exactly how specific, annoying behaviors are described and how they affect daily life and trust.
And Lucas's advice focuses on, again, communication and boundaries. You can set up some limits. You should let him know his behavior is causing a rift.
They also reflect more generally on roommate problems, suggesting they often stem from miscommunications and that talking things out, maybe with a neutral friend, is the way to solve them.
And then they offer advice to Lucas, who's thinking about college living, discussing the pros and cons of sharing versus living alone.
Right. highlighting potential benefits of sharing. Nice to have someone who can wake you, versus the downsides may not have the privacy. But the main takeaway is always about communication and compromise. Make rules and respect them. Both have to make some compromises. Behave politely.
So these roommate dialogues taken together give a really deep look at the communication involved in shared living, from setting things up hopefully to complaining in detail when it goes wrong and offering advice on how to manage it.
Next up, the source gives us that really detailed interview example discussing academic achievements and future plans.
Right, the interview with Jaden, who won a competition, it starts with the standard intro stuff. Can you introduce a little bit about yourself? My name is Jaden Thomas.
And explores his background, why he chose the school,
Hmm.
taken care of by all the college staff. It even gets into relationships, like his favorite teacher, Mrs. Johnstone, is she a chemistry teacher?
Yeah.
Yeah. And a personal story about her, invited to her Christmas party. Shows how personal bits weave into academic chat.
And sharing the news involves thinking about how others will react. Has she been told? Not yet. Probably she will be so proud of you. I hope so.
Then it gets into the practicalities of how he prepared. The resources, given many useful books. The effort, so you were revising a lot. The structured practice, tested every week.
And how that helped him. I knew what I needed to improve, identifying weaknesses.
And then he shares that really unusual study technique.
Oh yeah, the songwriting. When I had to memorize something, I usually wrote songs about that.
The interviewer's reaction, wow, can you sing or play musical instruments? Wow, shows real surprise and interest. It's a memorable detail.
But maybe the most surprising part is his parents' reaction to him winning.
Definitely. How did your parents feel? You might think that they would be very excited.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they only told me that I was just luckier than other students.
The interviewer is clearly taken aback.
Yeah.
Oh, really? That sounds strange.
And Jaden explains their reason. My parents didn't want me to be overconfident, which is fascinating, isn't it? It reveals a specific parenting approach or maybe cultural view.
And his own motivation wasn't just pure passion, it was practical too. I just wanted to get the prize because it can be used when I apply to university. Very direct.
And finally, they talk about the future, what he wants to study, material science and chemistry, and his dream university. Everyone wants to go to Cambridge.
Ending with the interviewer praising him, "You are all so excellent," and Jaden being modest, "No, I am so normal."
That whole interview provides a really rich look at the language used around academic life achievements, preparation, motivations, goals, even different ways of reacting to success.
Okay, and still in Section 5, there's that really unusual story. The unexpected home situation. It reads almost like a little play.
It does. Winship and Lewis come home and things are just weird. Saw the doors and windows of their house opened, instantly creates unease.
And they check if they messed up. Did you forget to lock the door? No, you locked it. I even checked it twice, confirming it's genuinely strange.
Their first thought is obviously a break-in. They look for signs of theft. Did you see if anything disappeared? Not really. Has your computer been stolen? No.
But then the clues get really confusing, don't they? Things that don't fit a robbery.
Exactly. The flowers on the balcony were watered? Are you sure? No way the robber watered. And some chairs were moved? Just odd.
And the kitchen is even weirder. All the dishes are clean, the chicken was baked and actually smells really good. Definitely not typical robber behavior.
Their attempts to explain it fail. Did we hire any housekeepers today? I haven't been told anything. The mystery deepens.
You can hear the fear building. I'm a bit scared now. What exactly happened here, too? The dialogue really builds that tension through all these strange details.
The turning point comes when they spot something familiar. A clue.
The suitcase. I saw a suitcase here. Whose is it? Is that the one our daughter received on her birthday last year? That shifts everything.
And then the daughter appears, resolving the mystery. She explains why she's home early. Told by my tutor that I can go home early. Finished all the credits earlier.
And why she didn't tell them. I wanted to surprise you guys. The big reveal.
And the parents' reaction is that mix of relief and shock, isn't it? Why are you guys so surprised? We thought that there was a robber. Oh, dear, it's just me. Why didn't you tell us I was so scared? It's too much for me, dear. From fear to relief to a mild telling off.
That whole dialogue is a fantastic mini-narrative. It uses conversation to build suspense, show confusion, investigate clues, and finally resolve a big misunderstanding caused by a surprise.
Right, let's broaden out again. Section 6 takes us into exploring the world travel and holidays. Lots of examples here of people discussing travel plans, dreams, and past trips.
It's like a really common topic.
Yeah.
People talk about summer holidays, visiting family overseas, planning group trips, even honeymoons.
And the reasons for travel vary too. Visiting grandparents in Canada, just relaxing on Miami Beach, seeing festivals in Spain, sightseeing in London, or celebrating a honeymoon in Paris or maybe Asia.
And the list of places mentioned is huge. Canada, San Francisco, Miami, mountains, Spain, London, Thailand, Korea, Japan, Paris, Italy, Germany, France, Sweden, Australia, Atlantic City. It really shows how much travel is on people's minds.
And the dialogues capture the feelings around travel too, like envy. You're so lucky I will have to stay at home during summer.
Or excitement about traveling together. I really want to travel with all of you. I agree, sure, I'm so excited about it. And just generally acknowledging that traveling is a very interesting activity.
That group travel planning chat really shows the back and forth of deciding where to go. Someone suggests Miami.
But someone else points out they've been there twice already, suggesting maybe somewhere new, like the mountains. Shows a preference for novelty.
Then Spain comes up with a specific attraction of the bullfighting festival, and London, focusing on sightseeing opportunities like the Tower or the Harry Potter tour. They talk through the options and agree on London.
And the honeymoon planning shows that negotiation within a couple, doesn't it? One person wants Paris, seeing it as romantic.
But the partner wants something new, suggesting Asia instead, like Korea or Japan. And the first person considers it. That's not bad. I think it's quite a good idea. Yes, so I am thinking of it. Balancing different desires.
So these conversations really show the language used to express what you want from a trip, suggest places, weigh up the pros and cons, and eventually agree on a destination.
And beyond just planning, the sources are full of people talking about specific travel experiences, recounting the detail.
Yeah, sharing what they actually saw and did. San Francisco is noted as so far away. Canada was visited before, but maybe not explored much.
Spain has the bullfighting festival. London has specific sites like the Tower of London and the Warner Brothers studio tour behind the scene of Harry Potter films. Very specific attractions.
Asian destinations get described with cultural or sensory details. Thailand is Golden Pagoda's land and street food paradise. Germany's Berlin linked to the Berlin Wall and Brandenburg Gate. Paris is a wonderful city with the Eiffel Tower, Louvre Museum.
Japan gets quite a lot of detail. The beauty of cherry blossoms, landmarks like Tokyo Tower and Mount Fuji, cultural stuff like wearing a kimono, and especially the food, Japanese cuisine. Freshness, sushi, shabu-shabu.
Atlantic City described by its beaches for surfing and swimming, watching the sunset, and eating seafood like lobster and grilled oysters.
People use descriptive words like very beautiful scene, sounds so great, amazing place, wonderful city to share their impressions. And sometimes a lasting impact is mentioned, like getting addicted to shabu-shabu after Japan, specific memorable detail.
These bits really show how we use language to share travel memories, recommend experiences, and convey what a place felt like.
And finally, within travel, the sources touch on the practicalities, rules and problems, specifically planes and luggage.
Right, like the keep your seatbelt on dialogue. It highlights a specific safety rule on a plane.
It explains the reason. We haven't reached a certain height for the plane to be stable. It also points out the need to listen for updates. Please pay attention. Our captain will announce it. Shows how instructions are given and explained.
And the lost luggage one details that stressful situation, stating the problem clearly. My baggage didn't come out. I've been waiting for it for so long.
And the process for reporting it. Giving passport and flight number. May I have your passport or flight number, please? And resolving confusion about the reclaim number. Your baggage reclaim number is number 4. Oh, 4! I saw 3 on the board.
Highlighting a common issue information changing. There was a change after maybe you didn't notice. And how it's sorted out by checking and confirming.
So these show that functional communication needed for travel-specific situations, like safety rules or problem-solving with lost items.
Okay, so the last section, section 7, seems to bring us back to learning and language itself, doesn't it? Connecting this whole deep dive back to the source's potential purpose.
Yeah, it seems that way. The source material actually includes the phrase, everyday English conversations practice easy, just as a title or label.
Right, which kind of suggests that these conversations we've been dissecting are maybe intended as practice material.
That seems a reasonable interpretation. And if you think about it, the examples do often fit that description of easy everyday English. They mostly use common words, fairly simple sentences, direct questions and answers, covering topics that are immediately relevant for everyday life.
So it links what we've analyzed back to someone potentially using this to improve their own English for these kinds of situations.
Exactly. Then there's that other slightly odd thing in the source structure.
The passive voice title.
Yeah, the title that just says the passive voice, but then the conversation that follows is that detailed interview with Jaden about winning the competition.
Which, as we discussed, is all about his experiences and plans, not about grammar rules.
Right. So, based only on what's provided in the source, it looks like the main focus is on showing practical language use in natural dialogue. Even if a grammar term appears as a label, the actual content is the conversation itself.
The interview is just a good example of practical English chat. Whatever grammatical features it might or might not contain aren't the focus of the dialogue itself.
It seems to emphasize the practical use of language over explicit grammar talk, at least in these examples.
Okay. But the source does explicitly show some really important communication strategies, doesn't it? Things crucial for making sure you understand each other.
Oh, definitely. Clear examples of asking for clarification when you didn't hear or understand something properly.
Using phrases like, could you repeat that? Or how do you spell it? Essential tools, really.
And repeating information back to confirm it, especially with details like phone numbers. That back and forth in the phone number example.
Wait, can you repeat that? Okay, 0774. And then correcting the mistake. No, the last number is 1, not 5.
Yeah.
That ensures accuracy.
Mm-hmm. And also signaling when you have understood. Using phrases like, okay, I got it, or oh, I got it, closes the communication loop.
So these examples show that good communication isn't just about talking, is it? It's also about listening actively, checking understanding, confirming details, practical skills for clearer conversations.
Especially when specific information, names, numbers, addresses is involved, those strategies prevent errors.
Right. So if we pull all of this together now, we've really covered a lot of ground digging into this stack of everyday English conversation.
We really have seen how language works for everything from simple greetings to navigating lost keys or shopping trips to planning parties and doctor's visits.
Discussing health worries and breakups, dealing with roommate nightmares and school successes, planning holidays. It's a huge range.
And the real value, I think, is seeing English actually doing things in all these common, relatable contexts. By looking closely at these snippets, you, the listener, hopefully get a feel for the common phrases, the usual ways conversations flow, the patterns people naturally use.
It's not just about learning words, is it? It's about understanding the flow, the structure.
Exactly. And understanding those patterns can make you feel more confident, I think. You can anticipate what might come next or have a better idea of what to say yourself in similar situations. It makes you a better communicator, maybe a better listener, too.
It takes it from abstract rules to how English actually works day to day. Getting things done, sharing things, just connecting with people.
Shows that even in really simple chats, there are often these underlying structures and strategies being used.
Absolutely. So as we finish up this deep dive, maybe here's something to think about. Just how much is packed into these short, everyday exchanges. All the information, the emotion, the planning, the relationship work.
Yeah, it's quite incredible when you stop and think about it.
And what else might be going on? Maybe things unsaid, conveyed through tone or body language, things obviously not captured just a transcript.
Yeah.
What might be happening beneath the surface?
That's a great point. These snippets are just the words.
So the final thought for you, listening. What small details, what unspoken cues, maybe what hidden intentions might you be missing in the everyday conversations happening around you? It's a reminder, isn't it, that even the most casual chat can have hidden depths.